Hey, welcome to Mama Mandala. I'm Hagar. I'm so glad to have this moment with you as the year kicks into itself. It is a time when some of us fall off of the plan that we had for ourselves. Do you ever experience that where you have intentions that you set for yourselves, or patterns that you want to break, or habits that you want to move away from, or new things that you want to bring into the world? Intentions that you have for yourself and for your life that by the time January kind of moves a little deeper into its rhythm, we tend to, some of us, not all of us, we tend to sometimes fall in back into the older habits, and we kind of just kind of whatever, all the energy that we generated about the things that we wanted to bring forth. That's totally normal. No problem with that, no issue with that. However, whenever it is that we find ourselves, we can pick up the inspired and creative energy in us and reconnect to it, yoke ourselves. You know, the word yoga actually comes from the verb root in Sanskrit, yoke, yuj, sorry, which means to yoke. So what are we yoking ourselves to? What are we attaching ourselves to? What are we connecting more deeply to so that we can slowly build more of the things that we want to build in our lives and in our world and in ourselves? The energy of the new year is wonderful to kickstart some things, but it's also, the year also starts pretty much in the beginning of winter. So it's the time of year when, at least in the northern hemisphere, right? It's the time of year when the energy in nature is actually very low. It is soft, it is quiet. It's still dark out for many, many hours in the day. And so we can pick ourselves up and recollect the pieces that we may feel like the balls that we've dropped, and reorient ourselves slowly toward the things that we want to bring into our lives and into the world. It's not too late. You haven't missed anything. It's all right here for us. And so we can repattern ourselves and reorient ourselves toward our intentionality and inspiration. And there's a great pranayama that comes from the yoga tradition, great breath work that comes from the yoga tradition called Viloma. And Viloma means against the hair, or in the opposite direction of the flow. Because to break habits, sometimes, often, we're going to need to orient ourselves toward something else. We're going to need to start to do something differently. We can't just go in the direction we've been going. We have to shift. We have to reconstruct ourselves in the area that we want to change, right? So moving toward change, moving into breaking habits requires moving not in the direction that we are used to, and therefore not in a way that is necessarily comfortable, right? Therefore, against the grain, against the hair, in the opposite direction of the flow, so that we're not just going rolling with our usual way, but changing a little bit of the direction. Okay? So Viloma Pranayama breaks the breath into 3 segments. So you can do that on the inhale and then exhale all the way out, or you can do that on the exhale and inhale all the way in. We want to break the pattern in one direction and then move the other side of the breath in a smooth kind of a way. So we'll start with the inhalation. The first segment of the breath will move into the lower part of the belly between your navel and your pubic bone. And then you hold the breath there. So it's only a third of the breath that you pull in, not all the breath. You pause, and then a third of the breath is going to move in to the middle of the belly, below your breastbone and above your navel. And then you hold there. And then the last third of the breath, when you breathe all the way in and all the way up, you bring the breath to the space that is between the bottom of your sternum, your breastbone, and the collarbones. Okay, so I'll talk you through it. Don't worry. Take a deep, slow inhalation through your nose, and as you exhale, allow your hands to rest on your thighs. You can move them a little bit backwards and forwards, and let the hands rest. Allow your eyes to soften. If your eyes want to close, you can let them close. If you feel like you need to hold them open, that's totally fine. Whatever feels most resourceful for you. And Viloma Pranayama is done through Ujjayi. So it's through the tone in the back of the throat. So bring a little bit of a tightening to the back of the throat so the breath can make this resonant sound as you breathe in. And as you breathe out. If you don't quite know how to make that sound, breathe in through your nose, trying to make a whispering sound as you breathe in. And breathe out through your mouth and make a little bit of a whispering sound on the way out. And then through the nose, inhale and make that sound again. Breathing out through your mouth will help you access that point. So go for it if you need to. And then close the mouth and breathe in and out through the nose, through the tone in the back of the throat, and make that resonant sound. Now breathe a third of the way into the bottom part of your belly, between your navel and your pubic bone. And hold. Another third of the way in from navel to bottom of sternum. And hold. And then breathe all the way into the top part of your chest. Hold it right there. And then through your nose, exhale all the way out. And it's totally okay if you're not getting it yet, if you are not familiar with it. Inhale to the bottom part of your belly, only a third of the way in. And it might take you some time to figure out what's a third. So play around with it if this is newer for you. And then another third of the breath to the middle part. Hold it there. Let there be a discovery here. Inhale all the way in, all the way up. If this is new, let that be new. Let that be something you're not yet familiar with. You're trying it on. Exhale all the way out through your nose slowly. And if this is not new for you, you're still renewing your connection. Inhale a third of the way into the bottom of your belly. You're renewing your connection to something that you already know, but you're breaking the pattern. Inhale into the middle part, the second part. And then inhale all the way in, all the way up. And exhale slowly out through your nose, very slowly, through the tone in the back of your throat. A third of the way in, bottom of your belly. Hold. Try to do it slow, so it's not small sips, it's slow sips. Inhale into the middle part, kind of like you're drinking a thick smoothie through a thin straw. And then all the way in, all the way up. And exhale slowly all the way out through your nose. One more round. A third of the way in to the bottom part of your belly. Hold it for a moment. Another third of the way into the middle of your belly. And then all the way in, all the way up, all the way to the top. Hold. Sit in the discomfort of it. And exhale slowly all the way out through your nose. And then breathe slowly in and out through your nose without breaking the breath. Just smoothly all the way in, still through the tone in the back of the throat. Still with Ujjayi breath. And notice your state of being. Maybe it feels there's a little bit of a calming effect. Maybe you're agitated. Maybe you're bored. Wherever it is that you are, just check in with yourself and notice and be in the space that you're in and see if there is a thought pattern. Keep breathing. That you can shift around how you're judging yourself where you are. If there's a need, if there's no need, and you're letting yourself be, allow the space that you're in to be welcoming and receptive. And let's just break the pattern in the other direction. So breathe all the way in, all the way to the top. And then the bottom part of your belly will be the first to release. Only a third of the breath is going to flow out through your nose, and then hold it. And another third of the breath is going to flow out from the navel to the breastbone, and hold. And then breathe all the way out. Top of the chest empties out. Pause. And then very slowly, consciously breathe all the way in through the nose, through the tone in the back of the throat. A third of the breath flows out from the bottom part. Hold it. Another third flows out from the middle. And hold. And another third flows out from the top all the way out. Pause. And then breathe all the way in through the nose. Bottom part flows out first, a third out, and hold. Middle part flows out, only a third, and hold. Top part flows out all the way. Pause, and inhale all the way in. Last round, a third of the breath flows out, bottom of the belly. Pause. Another third flows out from the middle part. Pause. All the way out from the top part. Hold it just for a moment. And then through the tone in the back of the throat, breathe all the way in. And through the tone in the back of the throat, breathe all the way out. And keep going. Slow, deep breaths through the tone in the back of the throat, Ujjayi breath. you can stay here in this space for as long as you have time for. Enjoy the space you're in. And I hope to see you soon. I hope this was helpful. You can come back to this practice whenever you have a pattern and a habit that you want to shift around, that you want to break open and transform. This is always here for you. And put a like on this video if it was somewhat valuable for you. Share it with your people. If you haven't already subscribed to this channel, please do. And subscribe to our mailing list over on mamamandala.com to get evocative, inspiring, transformative messages directly in your inbox, and also information about our upcoming events and workshops and courses. And I cannot wait to connect with you again soon. All right. Have a beautiful rest of whatever part of the day this finds you in. Thanks so much. Namaste.